Hello. During my time at Gallaudet, I heard of the First Baptist Church in Alexandria that had recently established a deaf ministry. Now, I knew that Clifford Bruffy was involved there from what I'd heard. I knew him at the time because he was pursuing journalism at Gallaudet. I'd heard of a calling to the church for a pastor and his wife, who was a coda and really helped them to establish the deaf ministry. The deacons of the church began collecting names, and there were many people at the time encouraged by the message of Jesus and were saved. The ministry began to grow from so much service and good work. And this went on for a time, and there were many things happening. And at the start of the ministry, it was primarily led by the deaf people, and the hearing members of the church weren't that involved. I went to Gallaudet, and from then on moved to Missouri. And from there, I moved to Louisiana to care for my dad after it was clear that he would soon die. On my way there, I traveled through Shreveport, Louisiana, and I ran into Ray Bearden and his wife, Gina. And this is the couple that would later be involved and become the first pastors at First Baptist Church. As time went on, I began to learn what it meant to be a servant for Jesus, and people began to recognize my ability to serve, to help and encourage others to know and be saved by Jesus. I was able to travel and be involved in many things provided by the church, and I had some wonderful experiences. And this was around the time that Ray and Gina moved to Alexandria to become pastors at First Baptist. And looking back, I miss having them as part of the church. Well, it became time for me to get my master's degree. And when I finished, I remember asking, God, where do you want me? Do I stay here? Do I go back to Louisiana? Or do I move somewhere else to find work? I knew that I had many friends here at the church in Virginia. Not just Clifford Bruffy and Ray, but I could also see that God was using people to serve and to train and to lead. And there were others that were learning to follow God, that were accepting Christ and going on mission trips. And many members that had moved into the area had been called to spread the gospel as missionaries, serving God in different ways. Some are now pastors, others became non-ordained members or lay people of the church, which was inspiring. That's what we were hoping to see, that we would be in a position to help people spread the gospel. Now, when I moved to the DC area, Carter Bearden, Ray's father, had suggested that I find a federal job that I could remain at until I retire, which I thought about. I had a few things to think about here and a few options for work that began to appear. And many of my friends here, some old friends from Gallaudet and some new, they encouraged me to remain in the area. Ray and Gina eventually moved to another church, and Clifford Bruffy took over as the pastor after that point. And the church was still successful thanks to the efforts and leadership of Ray, Gina, and Clifford. Once they all left, the church remained strong. And that's really what I wanted, that people would be encouraged through the good times, through the tough times, that we would still find opportunities to serve God and be involved with mission trips. I went to Russia, and I found ways to help people in and around Virginia as well. I thank God for the leaders that we had, but the most important thing that we had was that we were a family. And I found that here. And no, we're not married. Family goes beyond that. It's a family of faith and of friends, a family to support each other through good times and the bad times. And at the start, when the coronavirus pandemic started, this happened when Pastor Bob and Karen were here, and they have been here for the past 9 years. We couldn't meet in person, but we were able to get on Zoom, to get together and worship, to go to Sunday school, to have Bible study, and we were able to watch messages and videos on YouTube. And now, we're not just local, but our reach goes all over the United States. It goes all over the world with the tools that we have like Facebook and Zoom. God has provided for us, and we can continue to serve, and we can continue to help people through the good times and through the tough times, just by showing love, which is so important. And I hope you all find that, whether that is here at this church or wherever you are. There is a place that God will provide that has everything that you will need. And I was able to find that. And I've been happy, and I know of some people that could have left the church, but I'm happy that they didn't, because when I came here, God was able to meet my needs, and perhaps someday God will show me where He wants me to go, but for now, I know that I am here. Thank you all for watching, and I love you all.